Hello everybody, Captain Marty here, and I appreciate you joining us on this Monday, April the 7th. And I have a full page of notes and observations from the weekend fishing. I'll be back to share that with you in just a moment.
Scrambling around to different stores, in and out of the car multiple times to make sure you have everything you need for the beach, that can be such a hassle. But not with the Breeze Through in Avon. Breeze Through is your one stop for gas, beer, drinks, ice, sandwiches, snacks, coffee, sunscreen, and the best part? You don't even have to get out of your vehicle. That's right, just sit tight. Breeze Through will bring everything you need right to your car. Looking for a keg for a special event or gathering? Breeze Through is the only store on Hatteras Island who sells them. Breeze Through Avon, Milepost 55, and online at breezethroughobx.com.
Real. That's the first word that comes to mind when I think about Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor. Yeah, they're the first and last place you see coming to and leaving the Outer Banks on Highway 64 in Dare County, but they're also real when it comes to fresh local seafood. Troy Outland, real. Curtis and Josh, real. The indoor crab shedders, real. Stop by and see for yourself right next to White Shopping Center and check them out on social media. Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor. Real.
Okay, so we know down in Hatteras, the fleet, what we're having is a windy day and a fishable day, a windy day and a fishable day. It's been a little bit tough to get out, but the boats in there are finding black fins and bluefins, the schooling size bluefins primarily, when they do get out. And they're also catching some of the first wahoo of the year, which is a good thing. And if you drop up inside a little bit, they're catching some king mackerel too. And they do that a lot of different ways. And they actually fish for the blackfin tuna a little differently sometimes by deep jigging. But they've had a good spell when they can get out. Their boats, a couple of their inshore boats got back in the sound. I'll tell you more about that after the break when we get into the backcountry report. Oregon Inlet fleet depends on what you want to call Oregon Inlet. They're bluefin tuna from the beach to the Gulf Stream. There's still some of those 500-pounders swimming around out there. But the big breaking news was over the weekend, we had a really good showing of yellowfin tuna. These are the crowd pleasers. These are the ones you don't have to let them all go. You can keep roughly 3 per person. And the yellowfins are averaging about 40 to 50 pounds. And I saw several boats with 18 fish limits over the weekend, which is great news. And then some of them stopped and caught and released a bluefin or 2 or 10 in addition to that. So very, very good fishing. Plenty of yellowfin tuna were here over the weekend, but they just came out of who knows where. They're hot and cold, and you can expect that in the early part of the spring yellowfin tuna season. Also, the blackfin tuna, a few of them being caught. A couple other things I haven't heard much about. I personally have heard of a wahoo in the Oregon Inlet fleet. The Hatteras fleet, of course, wahoo capital of the world. They're going to catch them first. Ocracoke even ahead of that. They should be catching blackfins and wahoos down there right now. And look forward to bringing you some reports from down that way as the season progresses. Back in closer to the beach, a nice scrappy mix on the beach. You might have been lucky and found some of those moving sea mullet. And if you did really well on them. And they're a good class of sea mullet. There's been a mix in drum sizes from underslot to overslot to yearling. And I did see at least one 47-incher caught on the Rodanthe Pier, which opened up on Saturday. So they also had good catches of bottom fish. We do have, at this point in the report, we definitely have a couple of Gold Star reports. We had a bluefin tuna caught from a kayak off the end near Jennette's Pier. That was that one I saw on the beach, so I presume they kept him. But my old friend Greg Allen, who's a diehard drum fisherman and probably one of the best light tackle fishermen I know, he caught a 150 to 175 pound bluefin tuna off the end of Jennette's Pier. Caught, fought, and released a bluefin tuna 175 pounds. Maybe the first time that's ever happened. I'm not sure about that, but they've busted off a whole bunch of them. And right in the middle of that bluefin bite, they're catching an occasional drum. I guess they're all feeding on the same thing. But man, I tell you, our fishing is going off now. There's a lot of other things to be thinking about. You know, we talked about sea mullet and we talked about some puppy drum. There's also some black drum in the mix. And that's good as well. So really a great fishing report so far. I'll take a little break right here and I'll be right back to talk to you about what's going on in the backcountry.
Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village is the closest spot on the Outer Banks to the Gulf Stream. Just inside Hatteras Inlet, Teachers Lair is fully loaded with bait, tackle, ice, snacks, and drinks for your fun-filled day out on the water. Want to get rigged up to catch the big one? Lee and the gang in the tackle shop can outfit you to catch whatever is eager to get hooked. To see the marina, the tackle shop, or to book a charter, go online to teacheslair.com. Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village. Your fishing venture awaits.
So in the backcountry, lots of people are filling me in a little bit, but there's pretty decent puppy drum bite, and that bite is all across the sound, and some of them may be bigger than slot size. I saw a couple of yearlings. When you start getting into the bigger drum, people don't tell me much. Not that I would send someone out there to fish in their hole. The fishing hole, if you really want to know, is called the Pamlico Sound. You got to go do your own homework, but it is encouraging that the drum bite. I know there's boats back of Hatteras that are catching them, and I know there's boats off Belhaven that are catching them, off Englehard and back of Ocracoke. So they're moving around a little bit, but that's a good sign. Also, I was talking to Gray Davis a little bit. He's mentioning there's a pretty good gray trout bite, and Gray with hide guides runs out of Fairfield actually, but he fishes all the sounds, anywhere from the sound to the Gulf Stream. Gray trout bite was pretty good as well. And I saw, for instance, the backcountry boat I mentioned earlier out of Hatteras, the hookup, they went out and caught a nice catch of sheephead. And I've been seeing some over already this week. I've seen 4 that were over 11 pounds. That's a nice big sheephead. Sheephead are kind of hard if you're not really up to date on how to catch them, but they are really hard fighting, really fast on the bite, really quick, really good to eat. They're in the porgy family, cousin to all the snappers. I grew up eating them, and look how good I turned out. So that's one thing that's going on. Let's see what else I got. I'm getting near the end of my list. We talked about a few bluefish also in the sound, and they are mostly what I'm hearing is those 5 to 7 pounders. Something like that. There may be some bigger ones as well, but it's great to hear the word bluefish in a fishing report this time of year. Brings back a lot of memories. So we had a great weekend of fishing, and it's just going to do nothing but get better. So you need to get geared up and get out there and do it before, if you're a local, before you get tied up working, like dealing with all the things you do in a tourist economy. We have to work when the fishing's the best. If you're a visitor, shop with your local tackle shops. Local knowledge is free, and you'll get rigged up cheaper than you think to go off onto the beach or one of the piers and take the kids out and do a little bit of fishing. So again, congratulations to Greg Allen for his bluefin tuna off the end of Jennette's Pier, and I hope everybody is careful out on the water because water temperatures are still very cool, and you want to be careful about that. But go out and have fun and have a blessed day.